Our weed of the week is pineapple weed. Now this is one I think of as a summer annual weed, but I guess it can be a winter annual as well. This is actually one of my kids' favorite weeds because they love to show other kids how to identify it. With pineapple weed, when it gets towards maturity, it actually puts on a yellow seed head. And if you squeeze that yellow seed head, when it gets good and yellow, it actually smells like pineapple. And once your children take a look at that and try it out and smell it, they're gonna say, wow, this is cool, I wanna show everybody. So there you go. There's a weed identification tip for pineapple weed.
Once you've identified it, now it's time to control it. There are actually a lot of herbicides other than just dicamba and 2,4-D that can control this weed, but we talk most probably about 2,4-D in farmyards, pastures, roadside ditches. But again, dicamba certainly could be used as well. The key thing here is just to make sure that you're using a decent rate. Don't try to get by with some tiny little rate. And kind of like Liberty that we were talking about earlier in the show, all herbicides work better when it's a little warmer. Quite often what we find is very late fall spraying or very early spring spraying, and people say, it's not the best. Well, the weather needs to be kind of warm. If the weather's in the 40s and 50s, it's not going to work the same as if the weather's in the 60s and especially 70s.
All right, if this weed does make it out into crop ground, it's typically in reduced till or no-till situations. I like our 3-pre strategy for soybeans with Prowl and Metribuzin and either Valor or Authority. Post-emergent soybeans, Roundup, Liberty, 2,4-D, dicamba, those things work great. Also, I would say FlexStar and Cobra are pretty effective if you get the weed when it's small.
All right, in corn, I would start with Verdict. I'd follow up post-emerge with Status and maybe a little bit of Atrazine. We go to wheat, I'd probably start with Sharpen and then follow later on with Husky.
That's all the time we have for this week's weed, pineapple weed, but Iron Talk is coming up next.